Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here with me today. In today's video, we are going to be talking about watering tools and the tools necessary to keep your obviously orchids healthy, but also the tools that are the easiest to use in order to properly water your orchids. And as you can tell, I personally like to use a variety of canisters to help me water my orchids. And not everybody uses a variety of tools or canisters to help you water your orchids. You don't necessarily have to use a variety of canisters to help you water your orchids, but a variety of canisters in your possession will help you water your orchids more efficiently and more quickly, which is also a plus when it comes to taking care of your orchids, especially if you have a big collection. Now, I don't have a huge collection. My collection consists of maybe about 50 orchids at the moment, but the faster I can water my orchids, the better every single time. So if you are an orchid lover who has a big collection of orchids, of course you would always want to look for a faster way to water your orchids. So let's just go over these canisters and these items here from right to left real quick so that we can identify them and what they're mostly used for and what is the best way to use these for which types of orchids in what manner. So if we start over here with the black right here with the black bucket, we would mostly use those, or I mostly use this one for when I want to leave my vandas you know, sunk in there for 10 to 15 minutes. When I want them to stay in there for a couple of minutes, a few minutes, just to kind of soak in the water. Now, it's a great tool to use when we want to just leave orchids in here that are that have a lot of aerial roots, or that are just hung, or that are free grown, you know, just those kind of orchids that are not in pots. So that's what I mainly use this bucket for. Now, going over to this blue canister, I like to use this one for all of my phalaenopsis, all of those pots that I have with orchids with big leaves, because it has this long nozzle here at the beginning. I like to call it like the long nose, because it's easy for me to get in under the leaves. As you guys can see, I'm just gonna kind of move this over. I can get in under the leaves and just kind of water the orchid without it disturbing any of the leaves or getting water on the stem of the orchid. So that's what I like to use this canister for. Now, this little guy here is one of my favorite of all times. I actually just started using this, and I specifically like this one because it's one of those pump canisters that you pump and you just press, and it's able to hold water in for a long period of time, and you just hold it down and it sprays for a long period of time. And so I like this because it saves time and energy spraying water. So this buddy here I use when I want to mist the orchids that are mounted to the tree trunks, or just hanging freely. Like if I don't want to specifically dunk the vandas that day, or if it's not yet time for them to be dunked in the bucket, I may just want to mist them. So that's what I use this for. And it kind of just saves me some time to do it with this gentleman here, or it also just gives them a good mist and an even mist too. So I love this guy. I actually just bought him because I was getting really tired of using the typical old spray bottle, you know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. Don't get me wrong. If you guys want to use the good old-fashioned spray bottle, nothing wrong with it. I totally encourage you guys using a spray bottle or having a spray bottle around. However, I skipped over this one, but we're going to go back to that one. if you have a collection that is 10 orchids or more, and you have 10 orchids or more that are either mounted or hanging freely or require misting, or you mist on a every other day basis, you may want to invest on this, because, and I mentioned this in another one of my videos really briefly because I was just so in love with this bottle here. After a while of doing this kind of hand motion for 10 to 15 minutes or 10 to 20 minutes, and once this bottle's full, you're gonna get tired of holding it up in the air, spraying a Vanda, your fingers will start cramping up. So it is a lot easier to just have to do this rather than doing this for 10 to 15 minutes on more than 10 orchids each. So there's nothing wrong with this. Again, there's nothing wrong with this little old spray bottle, the old-fashioned way, if you have less than 10 orchids. But if you have more than 10, and even with less than 10, you might even get tired of doing that. But even with more than 10, you might want to invest your extra $6 on buying this than, you know, just spending $1 or $2 on this. So I highly recommend buying one of these. It is definitely a lifesaver, and it'll save your hands a lot of cramping. So this one right here is definitely one of my favorites. And you cannot only use it, you don't only have to use it for misting, you know, bare rooted orchids or mounted orchids or free hanging orchids. You can also use it for orchids that are potted. I mean, I can show you right now. It has different functions. If you loosen the nozzle a little bit, it not only mists, but we can also go ahead and actually water it. And it's actually a little bit better because it's more precise. You can water it more precisely without wetting the leaves, without wetting the stem of the orchid. You can actually use less water if you're doing it, you know, using it for the winter time. You pump it. Use it for the winter time when you have to use less water, so you're not over watering your orchids. So, I mean, I particularly love it. It's right now, this is my to-go-to. This is my go-to watering tool. I use it for everything. I water this, and the bucket I use for every single time that I water. These are the only two items that I'm using at the moment because they're the quickest. I'm finding out that they are just the most efficient right now. So let's just go ahead and move on to the final one. The pitcher here, I do use this one mainly on the smaller free hanging orchids. I use the bucket on the bigger Vandas, but if I have like a smaller Vanda that doesn't really need the bigger bucket, then I'll just put it in here. Or if I have, you know, a potted orchid that just has a really big wide pot, then I'll probably, you know, go ahead and just water it with the canister. When I didn't have the long nozzle canister, I was using this one, but now that I have the long nozzle canister, I use the long nozzle instead. But, you know, if you are a beginner and you have not upgraded to better tools or better canisters, you can definitely utilize, you know, these items here rather than investing your time or money on the more expensive stuff. Or if you don't even have that many orchids to start off with, or if your collection is not that big, then you don't have to invest your time or money on the more expensive stuff. So, you know, it's all up to preference. You don't necessarily have to invest your money on the more expensive stuff. But if you love orchids, again, and you want to make it a hobby like some of us have, and you want to start growing them, and you want to start building your big, large collection, then I definitely recommend looking into investing your time and your money on better items to help you water your orchids, because at the end of the day, they will help you save time. They will help you save water if you're in an area where water is a big issue. For example, if you collect your own rainwater and you want to save on your rainwater, if you want to conserve your rainwater, that will definitely help you save rainwater. And also, it will make your orchids happy. You want to be able to water your orchids in the most easiest way possible and not cause any stem rot, any leaf rot. You just want to keep your orchids as happy as possible, and having the correct tools to do it will definitely help you do it. So this is just my tip of the day. You can take it or leave it. Just here to help, but from one orchid grower to the other, this is just what I use on a daily basis, and I would definitely love to know what you guys use. I have seen orchid growers use the big spray canisters, the ones similar to the ones that are used for you know, spraying pesticides or fertilizing. So that is also a great idea. I've seen them, people use those big ones, which are perfect because they are similar to the small one right here, the little small pump one that I just showed you guys. But the big ones, those are perfect because they have the long hose and you can fill more water in it. You can get more orchids sprayed more faster. So I definitely love that. I haven't invested in one of those because I just don't have that many orchids. I don't feel like I really need to buy one of those just yet, but I definitely will probably need to buy one of those if I ever buy more orchids. But that is a great idea. So I'm definitely interested in what kind of watering tools you guys use or watering methods you guys use. So comment down below, let me know how you guys water your orchids, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you are interested in what you see here today. I will link you down below to where I purchased this water canister, and thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.